Today is the deliberation of AJ Armstrong Jr.'s case. It's a very sensitive day for family, friends, and people and supporters of AJ Armstrong Jr. It's a prayerful day because it deadlocked. It deadlocked whether he did it or whether he didn't do it. Because first of all, a lot of these jurors are parents. And some of them are probably grandparents. And it is a sensitive moment because when you're deliberating, and even if you see the evidence in front of you, but it may be other evidence that you need to see if indeed there are more than one person or if it was just AJ Jr. So it's deadlocked, and it seems to be deadlocked because all of them probably thought the same way. Because if majority of the jurors would have said not guilty and one would have said guilty, I think he could have walked free. But in this case, when it's deadlocked, the entire jury, they could not come with a decision. Now if they would have came out and just said automatically not guilty, that means every one of them would have been on the same page. So it tends to lead that they're going to have help with the judge on this case. And no one wants to see a young man, 19 years old, locked in prison for the rest of his life and not actually seeing all of the evidence. And I think that's why it deadlocked, even though they did see the evidence that what he did within that home. But supposedly it was someone else, because they did not talk with the brother, and they did not talk with the cousin that the brother supposedly had been with. And there are a few other people, I think, that they didn't talk with. But my take is I wonder why didn't his defense call all of those people that needed to be on that stand at this time and not wait on the prosecutors to call these other individuals. And that way, if AJ was not guilty, then today that verdict would have been not guilty and not a deadlock situation. So when you're defending someone, I think you should have all of the people that's going to help the case and bring them to the stands, and to make sure that you can cross-examine them. Like, say, for instance, if they said it was the brother that did it and the brother was playing games with the cousin at the girlfriend's house, so you should bring on that cousin to ask the cousin, well, where were you guys at this particular time, blah, blah, blah. Or also look for cameras, as I heard him mention in court. I think it was the prosecutors mentioned about the cameras, or no, it was the defense mentioned about the cameras in the neighborhood. And that way you could see if that brother went to that property, even though the alarm system showed the front door and the back door motion towards it, and that it was working at that particular time. Now, the only other way I could see that brother would come in and nobody knew it was if everybody was asleep. But AJ happened to be up at 1 a.m. in the morning on the phone, and he possibly would have heard his brother coming in, or, coming up the stairs or something. So the case is deadlocked today, and I know the grandmother and the family wants to get this over with because the grandmother spent a lot of money on this case, and I think the other grandparents are too, on both sides. And I know they wouldn't want this case to be a mistrial, and then they have to spend more money for another trial for the attorneys. So even though all the evidence that I saw pointed towards AJ Jr., but it doesn't matter about that. It matters about what the jury come up with, or if they have doubt in their mind. A deadlock situation doesn't mean that they know that he's innocent or guilty. A deadlock situation doesn't identify either or. It's just deadlock because no one can come up with a solid decision. But one decision that everyone know that they didn't come up with was not guilty. So we'll just have to wait and see. And if he did it, then, it's up to the jury to decide. Because a lot of people get off that do things. And if they did it, somehow later on, they'll pay. Even in their own minds, if someone did wrong, they'll pay. And if there is someone else out running around that killed that couple in that home, which it all led to AJ Jr. from the pillows that he had practiced on to the fires to this and that and that and this. But it could have possibly been someone else. And like I said, maybe the jury wants to see more evidence. Maybe they want to see other people, those other people that were mentioned that didn't take the stand. And so if it's a mistrial, then possibly they may even put AJ on the stand. So we'll just wait and see. And that's my update on the trial with AJ Armstrong Jr. Okay, thank you for listening in to my audio. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And I'll keep you posted with more. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.